The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of chet.
Chet.
So get ready, nerds, because we're talking C, Season 2, Episode 3, The Compass.
Let's do this thing.
Hell yeah, bro. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast, where we talk about our favorite TV show and apparently Apple Plus's like numero uno, C, Season 2, and we are on Episode 3 right now. It was pretty good.
It was something, man.
It was something. This week has been fantastic for us as far as this show goes, but we'll get to that in a second. First, I'm surrounded by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader 74 is here. Welcome, sir.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Are you enjoying the show still?
I am much more so than last year.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is fun now. I'm into it.
Cool.
I'm in like Game of Thrones mode with this show.
No
now.
shit?
Yeah, I really am.
Wow.
I really am.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Jude is also here. Welcome.
Hello. I love it when Vader is excited to watch things.
You get so excited when he's like, yeah, I like this show.
Sourpuss all the time. So when he likes something, it tickles me.
When I feel like I'm forced to watch something,
You get real salty.
It's like I don't want to watch
He's not a joy to sit next to when he hates things.
and I don't have like fun things to say about it. I might as well just not show up.
Well, we love you. Anyway.
I know.
We need to take, like, maybe for the finale of this season, we need to, like, everybody, I'm talking to you two, call off work and we watch it together.
I would be glad to call off work. Matt Kadish is here, producer of the show. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me. My hatred of the show continues to grow because it's getting too good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. And it's good.
You're crazy. You're a madman. So just so everybody is aware, we've had some developments this past week, which we are excited, like beyond belief for. Some of the cast and crew has actually reached out to us and said that they watch our show and that they enjoy it. So holy cow, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And also thank you for having a sense of humor. There's a lot of people out there when we talk about something
James Mangold.
and we get like salty about it, they take it real personal. You guys have not done that. You guys have all said how much you love us and how much we have fun with it and how on point we are with everything that's going on in the show. So,
And honestly, that endears us even more to the
oh my God,
show.
100%. Yeah. We're like, oh my God, these people like,
Look,
they're
here's the thing.
What's up?
I don't care if people watch this show because if it sucks, I'm gonna tell you it sucks.
That's one of the great things.
I know, right?
One of the cast members actually reached out to us and they were like, hey, listen, keep doing what you're doing and give us your honest opinions because that's what we like. Like we don't, don't change anything. So we won't. We promise. We will be brutally honest as we always are.
We were not nice last year.
We were not nice last year. We're much nicer this year because the show's freaking good.
Much better.
It's much better. Yeah. All right. That being said, we are going to get into heavy spoilers for episode 3. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, and we'll talk about it with you guys. But Mr. Kadish, take it away, sir. What is this episode all about? And get into that first scene.
Well, before we get into it, why don't we take a quick break to listen to some sponsors?
I was so excited to talk about the show. I forgot about our ad read.
We forgot to be professional.
Yeah, that's right. We will. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages, and we'll get into spoilers. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you would like to support what we do here on the podcast, become a club member. You guys are going to get exclusive access to 4 podcasts per month that are only for club members. This is where we are going to be our most unfiltered, raw. These are the opinions that might get us removed off of YouTube. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Also, Spotify and iTunes and all these people, the tech overlords might take us down if we say something whatever, you know how they are. Become a club member and you don't have to worry about any of that. And we have a ton of fun. We have a fantastic community over on our Discord where you will get exclusive access to our club members only. Thank you guys that are there right now. It's such a fun, fantastic community that we have. We do live streams, we do watch parties, we do Q&A sessions. And of course, become a club member, you guys will get access to our huge backlog of extra content that we've made over the past 2 years. So jump in, it's a great value and we really appreciate the support.
Everything in the members area is ad-free.
Mm-hmm.
And also they get access to our blooper reels too, the stuff that doesn't make it onto the air.
Yeah, and I'm not talking blooper reels like there's some flubbing of words, but most of it is just us going on tangents that have nothing to do
We
with.
drink a lot.
We drink a lot.
And sometimes by the end of the day, we get real fun.
My best work is in the outtakes.
Yeah. It's literally like it's Vader going off on like these weird tangents about like rape elevators and stuff. It's weird shit, but it's fun. So join the club membership, become part of the community. We have a fantastic time with you guys.
Yeah.
And
if you don't know who Vader is, it's because you're not a patron, and we had to cut most of the shit he says out.
I know, right? Very non-political.
we will get
I'm very non-PC.
we will get demonetized. All right, everybody, let's get into this. See episode 3, The Compass. Take it away, Mr. Kadish.
All right. So, episode 3, The Compass. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Jonathan Tropper, who it turns out is the new showrunner. So he took over for season 2, and he's been doing a bang-up job addressing pretty much every one of our complaints about the first season. For those of you who don't know, he used to work on this show. Like he was the showrunner for a Showtime original series called Banshee. And
You love that show.
no, I've watched every episode of it. The original premise was basically there's a convict who goes to this small town to kind of like find money that he buried back when he was robbing banks. And he takes over the identity of the local sheriff who gets murdered the day he shows up. And so everyone thinks he's the new sheriff in town, but he's actually like a criminal. And he starts policing the city like a criminal would. And the first season was good, but they had a hard time kind of sustaining the concept beyond that. So I like to tell people that it's not a very good show, but it has so many awesome things in every single episode that you couldn't help but like it. And I kind of feel like C's the same way, although it's slowly becoming the type of show that's like, wow, this
Appeals
is really
to
good.
everyone.
Yeah. And it does have those like really awesome moments. In fact, he's doing another show on HBO Max called Warrior.
It's already done. I think it was his baby before he did C. And I started watching Warrior on HBO, and it's like very comic booky kung fu. Lots of badass fight scenes based in the 1800s, where the Asian
the triads
came over to America in San Francisco area, and they kind of like took over the area, the Bay Area kind of stuff. And it's just like it's real political. There's a lot of like mafia shit going on, but the fight scenes are freaking dope.
That sounds like something I'd actually kind of like.
Is it animated?
No, it's live action.
No, but I mean when I say comic booky, I mean like just the tone.
I was just clarifying.
Yeah, the tone is very over the top.
Yeah, and Banshee had amazing fight scenes too. In fact, Anthony Starr, the guy who plays Homelander on The Boys, was the main character in Banshee. That's what I knew him from before The Boys.
Nice.
So that was cool. But Jonathan Tropper actually has confirmed that C takes place 500 years in the future.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, he reached out to us and was like, "Hey, by the way, guys, 500 years."
Yeah.
Thank you, because that was driving me out of my fucking mind.
So
It didn't sound
I
right
felt
last
like
week.
I was fighting myself over it.
So we have confirmation.
Yeah,
that
from the showrunner himself.
from the showrunner himself.
Screw you, Hollywood Reporter.
It'd be nice if they actually told us this in the show.
I know, right?
Well, who's gonna say? Oh, it's been
Okay,
5. I mean,
but
maybe Paris. Maybe
We
might say
are
it.
the official C podcast, and we are here to tell the people. It's 500 years.
I'm so freaking excited that they said that they watch our shit. That's crazy. Thank you, and also don't hurt us.
Baby, don't hurt me. All right, so this episode starts off with Edo Voss, who looks really good after being shot by 3 arrows.
I know, right?
He's giving the Travantian High Council a rundown of the escape. They're asking him the same questions the audience has, like, why didn't you just kill Baba Voss when you had him? And what do you mean you had Tamakta June captive all this time? And stuff like that.
These are all really good questions.
Yeah. And Edo Voss basically concludes that Baba Voss had help on the inside to escape, and the council charges him with finding the traitor, and Ren is like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Ren is straight freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Ren needs to get the fuck out of
Yeah,
there.
she
Yes,
really does.
please. She's about this close to getting found out.
What are you waiting for? Are you afraid to leave your apartment?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, it's a
fucking
5-star. It's got clean sheets.
It's rent controlled.
I wonder if anybody knows she lives up there.
I don't know. It's a good question, but yeah, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried for Ren because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what her motivation is for sticking around, but
Yeah.
she's in deep
If
shit.
Edo finds out she can see, he's gonna try and impregnate her. He's gonna broodmare her.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, she's got to go.
Yeah, she's got to get out.
of there.
I think what might happen is I think Henua might go back and save her and be like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Let's go.
Well, also,
Point,
so
yeah.
Joe Flanagan makes another appearance as the head military guy in the scene.
I recognized him this time.
Yeah. and so he makes it clear that the Ganites are the more pressing threat than, Queen Kane. And they were talking about how Tamaktajun was going to be a great source of
Information.
Intelligence.
on Queen Kane and her plans.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're very pissed off that he escaped. And Flanagan's like, hey, Edo Voss, like, you're being distracted by all this site stuff. You're our best strategist. We need you working on the Ganite threat.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's kind of funny because Edo, like, you wouldn't know that he just got shot by 3 arrows.
No.
Oh, he's a badass, though. I
acting.
mean, he's freaking built like a freaking brick shithouse.
Some scars are on the inside.
But I also think it's one of those things where, like, he knows, like, if he revealed that he got shot by arrows, they'd be kind of onto, like, Hanno can see and he kept her a secret this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's playing the long game.
There's one thing that I really talking about. Is it Flanagan?
Joe Flanagan.
Joe Flanagan from Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
My wife's a huge fan, so
We're all huge fans.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Atlantis that much. I've seen a couple episodes here and there while my wife was watching
Dude,
it.
I think Atlantis is my favorite of the Stargate.
I need to get into it. I need to start watching that show.
Stop talking about things I haven't seen yet.
I'm sorry. Me and Jew can watch it together. Anyway, the when he's talking about the Ganites and he's like, these are the greater threat. We don't really. Queen Kane is in a weaker position right now. We have to worry about this other thing. That to me was like, it opens up the world a little bit. I'm
World building,
super
man.
excited to hear more about like what's going around. I want to know what the hell's going on in New York City.
There's probably little blind city states all over the country.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine, like, what I imagine when I hear this is like, we see the way the Travantes fight the Pyans and like they have all their different styles. And then you got the Alkini, who are like very much like tribal and very cavemanish, you know, with their skins and stuff like that. And then I'm like, I want to know what life is like in those other areas.
Yeah.
Well, you know what struck me as interesting is that so the Pyans are a monarchy; they're ruled by a queen. The Travantes are a republic. They have a republic ruling them. Yeah. So I just thought that was an interesting distinction there.
The world building in this season is dope.
Really excited because I know a lot of season 3 is already done, but I'm really excited for season 4 where Jean Claude Van Damme comes down from Canada and the French Canadians start a war.
Yep. That's
Write that down.
Yeah, Mr. Tropper, make it happen. Get on the phone with JCVD.
Immediately.
Make it happen.
yeah. I mean, he's
God, can you imagine when he shows up?
dude. If that happened,
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
I'd lose my fucking mind too.
Yeah.
Jean Claude Van Damme is a French Canadian blind guy that comes down.
Warlord.
Yes.
I mean, Jason Momoa versus JCVD.
Oh my
Yes. Give me.
Oh my god! Please write that.
I'm only slightly drunk and I'm really excited.
And also, like, if you don't have time, we'll totally write it for you. Please. I just really want that to happen.
All right. I did have one question about this episode or this scene that we talked about. So there's an overhead shot of Dave Bautista as Edo Voss from the council room, and it's like there's a triangle on the floor. So it's obviously like some kind of a meaning, like you stand here if you're speaking. But above his head is these rolls of rope that are like moving.
That's because there's stenographers.
So is that what's happening? Is they're just notating everything that's happening down?
I missed that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just like there's a giant scroll of string that like has recorded every meeting that they've ever had. I'm assuming that's what it's for.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Also, kind of goofy,
Kind of weird.
but I'm all right with it.
Yeah, where are we getting all of this twine?
I don't
And
know.
is it like specific twine?
It's from
It's
the
They're
Silk
making it.
Lord,
They're making it.
oh yeah.
and he's dead now, so they're gonna be in trouble.
And the slavers.
Yeah,
It all connects.
gotcha. All right, Kadish, what happens next?
All right. So in the next scene, Jerlamarel is still blind and no one cares.
Skip.
He stresses to his son how important it is that no one knows that he can no longer see, especially the Travantians.
So
Nobody cares about Jordan.
I don't give a shit about Joe Morel, but I will say this: like I was watching, I almost felt sympathy for him when he was talking to his son. I'm like, oh man, poor bastard. Like he's like, I had this legacy, I lived for this. This was my life's work. You know, he's going through his little speech, and he's like, and then he does the dumbest freaking thing, and he's like, you must keep reading so you can fix my eyes. I'm like, bro, we have a boiler downstairs so we can have a light bulb on.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do freaking eye surgery, you idiot.
Yeah, he's not very smart.
And then he throws a freaking childish fit about it, and he like, you know, destroys this stuff on his side table. I was like, at that point, I'm like, no.
The whole thing in this show where the people who can see are the dumbest people in this show is brilliant to me. It really is, because they're dumb. We take our eyesight for granted so much.
Well, I mean, that line came back,
and it's just
with what was Jason Momoa said last episode or whatever. And he's like, your eyes make you clumsy and loud.
Yeah,
well, they do.
100%.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, Jude has said numerous times that the people who can see are the truly handicapped people in this show.
Yeah. And they're nailing that down in this season, which I'm not ready for. But yeah, I did not like Jerlamarel in this episode. I was like,
nobody likes Jerlamarel.
I know, but like,
you're not supposed to.
I thought maybe they were going to try and go the sympathetic route and like make him.
They almost did.
I almost
we'll
did.
Get to it.
But yeah, continue on, Kadish.
All right, so Hanawa, Baba Voss, and Tamakta June go to the rendezvous point, but Paris is not there. Hanawa finally has time to talk to her dad about her mother being a princess, and Baba Voss says it's a surprise to him too. Hanawa says that if Tamakta June is lying about their mother being alive, she wants to help Baba Voss kill him, and Baba Voss is all like, father-daughter time.
Nice.
Dude, that scene where she's like, I'm going to help you kill him. And he's like, yeah, it's all right. Fine. I'm like, Hannah was such a freaking savage.
Yeah.
I love it. She's got this dark side to her. She's like, I want to murder this guy with you. It's like, what?
Can we talk a little bit about Tamakta June?
Of course.
Okay. Because I discovered something this week that I'm furious that I didn't know until I looked it up.
What's that?
I looked up his IMDb. He was Dexter's brother in Dexter.
No shit.
Yeah, the first season.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
He looks so different.
Dude.
And sounds completely different.
So I didn't want to like shout names out or anything like that, but the actor who plays Tamakta June.
Christian Camargo?
Christian.
Don't rely on Kadish.
He's the destroyer of words.
Worst
Christian, he
Camargo.
replied to one of our stories where we had Tamakta June in on Instagram as I like put music to it and stuff like that. I'm like, this guy's such a badass. And
he's one of my favorite characters.
oh, he's dope. He's all of our favorite characters.
Sure.
Like Tamakta June's a freaking badass. But like when I saw the Instagram profile picture, I was like, I had to double check. I'm like, I don't think that's him because he looks
I did the
way
same
different.
thing.
nothing like his character.
I have scrolled past his picture on IMDb 1,000 times until I went to actually like look up him, and I was like, oh shit. And I looked up his history and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't realize this before.
He looks like a little pretty boy in Dexter, you know, and in this one he's all grizzled and like.
I know. He embodies a fucking character.
Yeah.
Sir.
I literally
well
had to,
done.
I looked at the Instagram tag and I'm like, that's not him.
He changes his voice even.
And I clicked on it and then I went to IMDb and I was like, holy shit, that is him. Like the actor like literally personifies this character. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Love
It's a complete makeover.
If I ever get a chance to interview him, I think it'd just be 45 minutes talking about beard care and
yes.
Right?
How do you grow that thing?
Oh my God. If I find out that thing is fake, I'm going to be so upset.
It's about 7 months now.
You're doing all right. All right.
I noticed when you walked in today.
So we're all established that Tamakta June is awesome. But yeah, I really did like this. The conversation, this episode is really good at dumping some exposition that's really, really needed.
There was a lot we learned in this episode that we needed.
Yes,
Yeah,
there's a ton of
It wasn't a real action heavy episode.
Not really, but it was
And there was a lot of
exposition.
Explaining
But
some
it
shit
was
that
good.
happened and setting up some things that are gonna happen.
There was some much needed exposition.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
they really filled out some stuff that like the audience was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
When they're like, usually when there's a filler episode and I'm like, oh, it's just a filler episode. There's like a breaking point, you know, a calm before the storm.
Yeah.
This was that, but also really
was
like
necessary.
informative.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Continue, Kadish. What happens
All
next?
right. So Tamakta June is able to figure out that Kofun has been taken by witchfinders. Hanawa informs Tamakta June and Baba Voss that the queen has declared that the sighted are no longer witches, which means that Kofun is somewhat safe. She then tells them that Kofun was taken to Pensa because Kofun used one of his superpowers to write on a rock the exact location
was a laugh
he's
out
being
loud
kidnapped
moment.
to.
God.
Like it's literally the
only
Baba
thing he
Voss asks,
does.
did he leave you a sign? And she's like, yes, and he literally wrote Pensa.
So funny.
We both cracked up. And they just showed the word Pensa. She's like, yes, he left me a clue. And the clue is
Pensa.
Hey, they took me to Pensa. Copy that.
The fucking greatest superpower in this show is to be able to read a note.
I mean, but for real, it's the only thing that he can do.
I mean, he gets kidnapped so much that he needs to be able to do that.
He should be dropping breadcrumbs everywhere that he
Poor
goes.
bastard.
If he goes to the bathroom, he should leave clues along the way.
Like, but that's like, we joke about it because it's ridiculous, but also that is the best way for those two to communicate,
sure.
and nobody would ever know.
Yeah.
Just put up a fucking billboard.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm going over this way.
Yeah.
I'm over this way. Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny.
it's the greatest superpower that tofu has. It's awesome. It's great.
Which also made me think, like, I don't know, why didn't the Witchfinders like hear him writing that on stone? Because it's not like he has chalk.
Yeah, he's sitting there like, what are you doing, bro?
He literally
Nothing.
had to like carve it with like a stick or a rock or something.
The last season, he did it with a charred piece of wood, and
Okay.
he carved it in from the fire that they
Charcoal.
were sitting next to.
I feel like he should invent paint.
That would be
It's quieter.
epic.
Yeah.
I mean, they have face paint, so just
It's just mud.
Or maybe like palm a Sharpie from Jerlamarel, like a 500-year-old Sharpie still works.
Yeah.
all right. Well, we're enough making fun of tofu. Go ahead. What happens next?
He'd probably write SOS in water bottles.
All right, so at Pensa, Lord Harlan brings a survivor of Kanzua before Queen Kane, and the survivor reveals that the queen destroyed Kanzua. Harlan then kills the man and hands the queen his tongue,
Oh, that was
letting
smart.
her
Was that
know.
his tongue?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was his ear.
No, it was his tongue, letting her know that her secret is safe with him so long as he gets the marriage he wants.
This was freaking dope.
Yeah,
I
he's doing
love
some
this.
straight up little finger shit right now.
Oh yes, but you know what though? I don't think Littlefinger would have somebody else kill them like secretly, like, ooh, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
This dude just straight up fucking cuts the guy's throat.
This guy will get his hands dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
well,
that.
he starts the scene by telling the queen, "Is like, just be quiet so no one knows you're here. I want you to hear this." And Queen's like, "Ooh, okay."
You know what I like though is that the dude that came in, he was just a guard. He's like, there's somebody else here because he just like
I loved
this
that.
little echolocation thing, like. And he's like, there's somebody else here. Who is it? And he's like, oh, it's a servant who's loyal to me. He like covered it up. But yeah, that was cool. It was cool just to kind of get a little bit of more idea of what these people's abilities are.
Yeah.
So they can tell when there's
So
more
then we
than one
don't have
person.
to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lord Harlan's definitely playing the Game of Thrones on this
Oh,
one.
he's playing that long game.
Like it even makes me wonder if like the guy was actually from Kanzua,
Right.
and if he just like set it up and the guy didn't know he was going to be murdered.
Oh, you think?
Well,
You think
yeah,
it was
because
that?
Harlan already
Yeah,
knows the story.
That's what I thought.
You think it was fake?
I thought it was fake.
Oh, wow. I didn't take it to, I thought he was legit like a guard.
Maybe he might have been.
Huh.
But in my head, Harlan set that up.
Just to play with her.
I mean, like the show never gave us a clue that it wasn't anything other than what it presented itself to be. But like in my head, I was like, I wonder if we're going to find him because his brother let him in, and his brother is just as like crafty as he is, and they're both in cahoots. So I'm like, I wonder if like this is a setup because he's trying to manipulate Queen Kane.
And and Queen Kane, man, she knows the game.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably 3 steps ahead of Harlan.
I hope she is. I hope she is. Also, Harlan has one of the best beards in this show.
Oh, well, his beard was magnificent in the Sleepy Hollow too.
Yeah. Which the one with Johnny Depp?
No, the TV show.
Oh, I didn't.
He was
watch that.
Ichabod. The Lord Harlan was Ichabod Crane in the TV show.
Oh,
Sleepy
cool.
Hollow.
There's a lot of good beards in this
Yeah,
show.
the beards are on point in this show, which is weird, but also really cool.
We're great admirers of the beards in this show.
Well, I just when I lose my job, it's going.
It's going.
It's going.
You're gonna Tamaktajun it.
I'm gonna shave half my head. Just gonna go.
Badass, dude.
Yeah, we're all gonna be
You
wearing
should
like
become an albino.
we're all gonna be wearing weird leather straps behind our head.
Yes, with little spikes in your ears. We're gonna go full
Oh,
cosplay.
I'm gonna do a feather cuff.
Oh, those are. I actually really like those.
Are we gonna start?
It's growing on
Are we
me
gonna start cosplaying for this?
Yes.
every
Oh my God.
day.
Where's your braids today, man?
I just kind of felt like
Your
going low
beard
key
looks
today.
nice today. Yeah, it's cute.
I cut this. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so the scene, this was like one of those moments where it was like an oh shit moment for me when he cut the dude's throat.
Oh, I
and
knew that was coming.
I didn't see
I
that
was
coming.
like, he's definitely got to murder this dude.
I mean, I should have seen it coming, but I'm not as smart as you.
That tracks.
Anyway, so I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, just freaking murdered. And then the way he like gets down on the floor and starts freaking like ripping the dude's. I thought it was his ear because I thought like ears would have some kind of a significance to the story with like,
okay,
you know.
But also he's flapping that tongue and it shouldn't have been.
Okay, I couldn't tell which one it was, but it was just a bloody piece of flesh. So I assumed it was an ear, but it could be a
big
tongue.
pink tongue.
Okay,
It was
cool.
his dick.
And then she feeds it.
That would have been nasty.
That's some Norseman shit. That's some Fura. Anyway,
all right. Before you get to that, Alex,
Yeah,
so a rope comes for the queen, telling her that Kofun has been recovered by the witchfinders. She goes and sees Magra to inform her that her son is still alive, but that there is no sign of Baba Voss or Hanawa. Queen Kane convinces Magra that in order to keep Kofun safe, she must enter into a marriage alliance with Lord Harlan. Magra reluctantly agrees, but figures out that Queen Kane lost her child.
I was just going to say, like, and also she reveals that there's no way to protect Kofun unless she agrees to this marriage.
I like that. Queen Kane playing the Game of Thrones, right? I felt like Magra in the last episode was a little bit subdued. I was a little disappointed. I was worried that they were going to like put her character on the back burner because I really like Magra and I wanted her to kind of play along with this whole thing. And she wasn't really that active.
I like her a lot in this episode.
Yeah, this episode was like Magra.
She gets to
do some shit.
Stuff.
This was good for her.
Yeah.
This episode was good.
I needed that though, because last episode I was really worried that she was just going to be like reacting to everything going on around her because she doesn't seem as savvy as her sister. But in this episode, her knowledge
definitely has her moments.
She's got some craftiness to her.
I actually have a lot to say about Magra and Queen Kane, which I'll do after we're done recapping the episode.
Okay.
One of the things I thought was interesting was how Queen Kane, like when the guy comes in to give her the rope message from the Witchfinders, she just feeds that tongue that Harlan gave her to the dog.
Yes. What a savage move. God, I love Queen Kane.
These people are all chess pieces to her.
Oh, yeah.
Also, but like she looked genuinely emotional when Magra kind of embraced her over the loss of the baby.
I loved that moment because she allowed herself to actually have a real moment. And I believed that it was a real moment.
And again, like
too.
the moment where that happens, where she's like, where Magra like embraces her, like, I'm so sorry you lost the baby. That's heartbreaking. You can see Queen Kane is up here and then she starts breaking down and you can see it in her face. She's like, oh shit. And then she can't keep it in.
Well, there was also that whole thing where Magra, for once, actually used her superpower to tell that the queen was lying to her, and that's how she was able to discern that the baby had been lost.
So
it was a very good sister moment. And
I
thought the actresses really did a great job in showing that emotion.
Yeah,
and in bringing that scene.
So one of our club members for the Salty Nerd Club reached out to us about this episode, and they were like, "Hey, I listened to this episode on what is it, AD? What is that audio something?
I don't know.
Where like the audio is like super hyped up for people for blind people. It like describes what's happening.
Oh yeah.
And they said like during this scene, you can hear a heartbeat. When she's like, there's only one heartbeat. Where's the other heartbeat? And that's when she realizes that the baby's dead. I guess during like you have to set your settings to different than the way we watched it. But I thought that was really cool attention to detail, which
we should try that for an episode.
I think I'm going to start wearing headphones for this show just so I can get everything in there.
Well, there was also a moment where Magra, like, you know, the queen's kind of like leading up to the fact that like, you know, they're all in danger and she needs to marry Harlan. And Magra just says, I don't understand this conversation. I was like, that's how I felt through all of season 1.
I like that Magra is playing ball though, because she's like, I'm already married to the badass motherfucker. You know what I mean?
And I was a little upset when she finally agreed to it.
I know, I was
like,
too.
whoa, bitch, you have a husband.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to it. But like what happens later, I was like, oh, bitch.
She's playing some games. I love it. All right, Kadish, continue on.
All right. So Tamaktajun, Baba Voss, and Hanawa stumble across a slavers' camp, as you do, because they're everywhere.
Those damn slavers.
The slavers attack them, but suddenly Paris shows up with a bunch of badass blind bitches to murder all the bad guys. They're about to murder Tamaktajun, but Baba Voss stops them, and Baba Voss and Tamaktajun are too injured to fight. So Paris takes them back to their camp to rest and heal before promising to take them to Magra.
And we're introduced to a whole new thing that this show does with rope.
Oh, yes. Yes, that, but also Paris's backstory, which is much needed.
Well, we're going to get to that.
We're going to get there. Did this.
Yes. I had a problem with this scene because, yes, I did. So Hanawa walks in, right? And Tamaktajun, badass, awesome freaking fighter who can like sense everything, Baba Voss.
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna
Badass
say.
dude who can sense things. Like, they're like, what do you see, Henoa? And she's like, looks
Nothing.
good.
Yeah.
And there's like fucking 9 dudes that just come out of
They
nowhere.
were standing behind the tree.
Fuck you. These people can hear heartbeats from like a mile away.
Yeah.
She pulled a Kofun.
Yeah, I was like,
and we do give. I think what the show was doing there was just like reining in our expectations, because we've been giving Hanoa a lot of credit for being basically a superhero.
Yeah.
And the show is still saying sight is still a handicap,
Okay.
even though Hanoa is a badass. Like, still Baba Voss and Tamakta June are badasser.
And also both Baba Voss and Tamakta June were like messed up.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, they
From
made a point of saying that. They were like, I haven't eaten in 4 days. I'm injured. You're losing blood. You've got like whipped for 9 days or whatever. Like, they're both like really, really bad. Which is why I was like, okay, so it makes sense why these slavers would get the upper hand on them.
Yeah.
Because they're injured. They're not at their peak.
I never had an issue
I feel like
with
they
them
did a-
being off.
The only thing that irritated me was the fact that Hanoa was like, yeah, it looks good, guys.
I was
and then
irritated with that too.
freaking like 9 dudes, like right there.
I feel like they did a really good job.
They were
with
hiding
the whole,
behind the 500-year-old rhinoceros toy in the playground. Okay.
Whatever, man.
I also find it interesting that like slavers are just like willy-nilly throughout the woods.
They're
Like, they're just
everywhere.
everywhere.
But like, I mean, 500 years from now,
I mean,
if
they
you're
are.
blind
yeah.
and it's a post-apocalypse, like, what's your trade?
So
You're either
You gotta be a slaver, dude.
Hey, they're in business for themselves.
You gotta be a
know?
slaver or
Yeah.
a broodmare. I'm going slaver.
self-employed, you know what I mean? Anyway, but the fight scene, we kind of talked about these new characters that get introduced. This, I think, because I watched the first couple episodes of Warrior, I'm kind of getting that vibe from where Jonathan Troper, is it Troper or Tropper? I say Troper.
I don't
Why
know.
are you asking him?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's the destroyer of words.
I'm the worst person
Anyway,
to be asking.
He brought some of those skills from Warrior, which again, the fight scenes in that show were dope.
Isn't one of the main
Yes, they're the main act.
circle members,
the
the compass
compass.
members from that show?
Yes,
how do you spell his last name?
Tropper.
That's
Yeah.
Tropper.
Tropper?
Tropper.
Like choppa.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the troppa.
Anyway, yes, he brought some actresses from Warrior over to this show, which is awesome. But also the fight scene in this, like, it was so freaking brutal and cool.
Well, that's what we like about this
That's
show,
what we
right?
love about this show, especially this season. So I think he brought some of that skill over to this.
Blind ninja bitches.
It was dope.
Yeah, with ropes.
All right.
All right.
God, broke that dude's neck. Like, oh.
So back at camp, Paris fills us in on some much needed backstory about the Compass, a secret society of warrior women dedicated to protecting those with sight. She tells Hanoa that she was a former member of the Compass and raised Jerlamarel, which is why Jerlamarel sought her out at the Alchemy tribe when he was on the run and knew Paris would teach the twins how to read just like she helped teach him.
We've been wondering about this.
Thank you.
Forever.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
like,
It makes
why does Jerlamarel have such a boner for Paris? He's feeding her all of this information. Like, what?
She
We got
raised
it.
him.
We
It's
got
his
it.
mom.
Makes so much more sense now. Yeah. That was I
He
was
sought
when
her
I
out.
heard that story, I was like,
Oh.
It made me
Well done.
yeah,
it made me understand why she was so insistent
on making the kids
on
read.
making
Yeah.
the kids
Yes.
and breaking the rules
Yep.
when they made a pact with Magra and
Yeah.
and
I wonder how
everybody.
much of this has already been established and they just didn't put it in the first season.
if they're retconning this, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Very,
that,
yeah.
that was my whole thing where I was like, the first season was so stupid and bad that like I wouldn't be surprised if initially they were just like, well, Paris is gonna be like the Mary Sue who does this, and then like when Tropper took over, he was like, we got to give Paris a reason.
Maybe
for
they
what she's doing.
Yeah.
Maybe they just invented what are these called?
Stories?
The
What?
girls.
The
Oh, the compass.
Maybe
Backstory?
they just invented the compass to give Paris a backstory.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
And I'm completely okay with that.
And
because-
it even makes it a little bit more interesting because we've already seen that her judgments were aligning with Jerlamarel
So-
throughout the childhood of the twins. So where is her alliance now?
If this season makes season 1 better by retrospectively
it already
do it,
has.
I'm gonna be dope.
It already
That's
has.
gonna be freaking awesome, dude. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I mean, I feel like this is stuff. If it had been planned, it should have been revealed in the first season.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're finally getting around to revealing it now. I don't care if it's a retcon or not because it's something that we needed in
Yeah.
order for this stuff to make sense.
I'll be. there are so few episodes in a season for these shows. It doesn't really matter because I'm still used to 25 episodes in a season. So to me, we're still in season 1. You know, it doesn't really matter that we're retconning the show that came out 2 years ago because there's so few episodes. It's fine. It really it works.
It also shows the difference in the care that's being taken this season by the writers because I feel like they're like, okay, we know that this stuff doesn't make sense. Our job is to make it make sense.
I do legitimately feel like, I know we joke about that, how they listen to us, but I do feel like the writers and the showrunner and stuff that they did some research and they go, well, what are people saying? What do people want? What makes sense to expand and bring these characters more to life, you know? And I really appreciate that because there's a lot of shows out there that don't give a crap about
when you invest your time in something like this.
Well, it's hard to care about something that the creators don't care about.
Like
and you can tell that a lot of care went into the new storyline this season. And I'm loving it.
Yeah. Give us some reasons to like these characters and get rid of the ones that you can't salvage. Yeah. Like Boots. They got rid of Boots because he was a terrible fucking character. He's useless.
And he's an asshole.
He's useless. You know.
And they need Kofun to become more interesting. So they're keeping him around and I know they're going to do something with him.
We're going to get to Kofun in a second, but the thing that struck me about this episode in general is like, it really was a world building episode. Yes. Like we've, like the previous 2 episodes, we've gotten to see a little bit more of like what this world's about, but this one really fleshed it out. Like the whole compass thing, the fact that there's a secret society of women warriors dedicated to protecting those with sight. You know, you put that in next to the slavers, next to the witch finders, like it's really starting to become a very interesting kind of multi-layered, like universe. Setting that
I
did
kind of find it funny that there's a secret order of protecting the dudes, people who have sight, and none of them have seen a person with sight in like
200 years
6
or something
generations
like that.
or something. Yeah.
But we heard stories and we're still in.
I just want to like stress one more time that I'm really appreciating the character building and the growth that's going on here. I mean, we're even getting like even a guy like Toad.
Yeah.
I like that dude.
Also an actor from Warrior.
He's
from Banshee.
And from Banshee too? Right on.
I'm a
that
little
dude
bit
has layers.
I'm a little bit invested in Toad. The dude's been on the show for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I care more about him than 90% of the characters that were on the show in the entire run of season 1.
I know we're going to get to it, but I think we're going to see some stuff between...
Oh, hold on. Yeah. We're literally the next scene. And I'm going to throw it to you.
Did we see the scene yet where Hanawa gets in a little skiff with one of the compass chicks? Because that was my favorite. Not yet? Okay, go ahead. Continue then.
All right, so at the Witchfinder camp, the other 2 Witchfinders, Dax and Fry, are complaining to Toad about protecting Kofun. Toad isn't having any of it and tells them to just do their jobs. They're literally talking about killing and abandoning Kofun right in front of Kofun, who's sitting there listening to 2/3 of his protectors talk about killing or abandoning.
Who knew he had shadow training?
He's just sitting there like, oh shit.
But but then the dipshit sticks around.
Yeah, this is weird.
It's so dumb.
It's clear he cannot take care of himself.
Absolutely not.
Like if he ran away, he'd be dead in like 20 minutes.
4 seconds.
If I had overheard that conversation,
I'd bounce.
I would never sleep again.
Yeah. Well, shit, he goes to sleep.
He goes to sleep.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not. But he's sitting there and like they end the scene on a shot of him and he's just sitting there like, oh, that was a weird conversation.
He literally looks like he's sitting there like,
I wonder if they're going to kill me or not. Yes!
It's like literally 2/3 of the guys who are tasked to bring him back to his mom want to get rid of him.
Unbelievable. Come on, Toad.
This poor bastard.
All right, so...
He could have like just climbed a tree and waited him out.
I know, right?
So, but like, we've already discussed like Tofu. I'm doing it now.
Yes!
Cannot do anything. He cannot walk by himself or ride a horse. I know we'll get to it.
Useless.
Or climb a tree. The only thing he can do is read and write. And that's not going to save you, buddy.
He'll write down the place he's being kidnapped to. That's all he can do.
Pensa.
This poor bastard.
All right, so back at Pensa, Magra is practicing with her whistling sword because she can fight now. And Lord Harlan shows up to discuss their alliance. Magra displays her Game of Thrones skills by accepting his engagement, but will not have an actual wedding. While enjoying a long engagement, Magra wants Harlan to help her stop the war with the Travantes and protect Baba Voss, Hanawa, and Kofun. In exchange, she will offer to give Harlan his city back and convince the queen to move her capital to a different city.
I so needed this scene.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was like, Magra needs to do something freaking awesome.
But first off, I'm like, so she's a sword fighter now.
She's a Klingon.
She's a Klingon. That's a Klingon bat lift.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love the fact that it like incorporates like an audio sound
that's really
thing.
Cool.
Yeah, and then the comment
Harlan says, go ahead.
Yeah, the comment he makes is like, oh, whistling sword, the weapon of royalty. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. She's royalty. She's gonna be trained to fight. She's gonna be trained to defend herself. And the fact that she's got this like, I don't know where she got it from. We haven't seen her with it at all.
Yeah.
So maybe they had one there.
Maybe they had it made.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe blacksmiths. I don't know.
I so envisioned her as like a little baby Spartan princess, like being trained in the art of the whistle sword. Yeah, and she's she's like, oh shit, I've been living in the caves for so long. I gotta get the rust off, stretch on for my whistle sword.
Yeah, after having 2 kids, you gotta get to the whistle sword.
She's like, do I still got it? And then she's like, I still got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Instead of yoga, it's all about the whistle sword.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I did like it though. It was a much needed view into how Magra thinks, and I like that she was like playing the game along with her sister while like manipulating people. I'm like, good, okay. I was really genuinely worried last episode, like I said already, that she was going to be like a back burner character for a little while, but this brought her up. Like she's on the same level. She's manipulating just as much as everybody else, which I'm down for.
All right, so back at the Witchfinder camp, Kofun is once again snuck up on by blind men and attacked by Dax and Fry.
Buddy.
He continues to be worthless and calls Toad for help. Toad kills Fry and rescues Kofun from Dax, who gets away. Toad is pissed that he had to protect Kofun, but Kofun points out that Toad had a choice and chose to protect him.
He screams Toad more times.
Oh my god, Toad, help me! I'm like, dude, stand up.
Walk away.
Why didn't you go to bed with a shiv, buddy?
He's sleeping. He wakes up and there's a dude with a rock over his head, and he's like, oh no, Toad!
Oh man!
And the guy woke him up because he had to feel where he was before he could lift the rock over his head. Never mind the fact that he could have just knifed him in the throat right there. He has to stand up and bring the rock over his head. And if Kofun hadn't woken up, he'd been like, oh shit, I'm dead.
God damn it.
Is this a dream?
Tofu.
This is like straight up season 1 stuff.
It's getting frustrating.
It really is.
And then
I like getting little season 1 nuggets. It's
like, he picks up a stick and he starts fighting back for like a split second, and then he gets his ass handed to him. And I'm just like, Jesus, God damn it, man.
I blame his parents.
I do too. I blame Baba Voss.
But Jude had a very interesting take on this scene.
What was your take on it?
Okay. I know you're going to be so mad at me. But I saw a little chemistry between Toad and Kofun.
Oh, no.
And I know it would be ridiculous if the show did this, and I don't think that they're going to do this. However, that moment when Toad's like, I didn't have a choice. It's my job to protect you. And he walks away, and Kofun goes, you did have a choice. I was like, when the twins get back together, like Hannah was going to be like, bro, I got to tell you something. I'm gay. And Kofun's gonna be like, no shit, I'm gay. And we're gonna fist bump.
Jude just wants everyone in the show to be gay.
We're not shipping TOADFUNE. Okay.
TOADFUNE.
We're not doing that.
You gave it a name. Now it must be true.
It's officially shipped.
TOADFUNE.
You did this, man.
I'm not down for that at all.
I don't want it. I don't want
it. That's a t-shirt. TOADFUNE.
It's just a picture of those two.
And then it quotes, you did have a choice.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said
it's funny because Hoon Lee, who plays Toad in Banshee, he was a cross-dressing gay man. So, I mean, like, the foundation's there.
Oh, God damn it.
Boy.
This show. Yeah, Tofu was useless again. I'm like...
Yeah, I was like, scream Toad one more time. Just scream it one more. And Toad's just sitting there like he kills one of his like companions, and he's just like, oh, I gotta get up. I gotta walk over there.
Goddamn kid.
Like sharpening his knife.
I'll be there in a minute.
Giving him a minute to handle it himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck. This kid can't fight at all.
Tofu really did like spend like a good 3 minutes just screaming for Toad to come help him.
It's awful.
Yeah, he's so worthless.
All right.
Moving on.
Is this a scene where they ask if he can ride a horse? Or is that later?
No, that's the scene.
This is okay. So that
he can't do anything.
Just to put the cherry on top, just to bring the point home. Toad's like, "Do you know how to ride a horse?" And he's like, no. I'm like, bro,
he can't see you. Just pretend.
Just get on the horse.
Yeah.
The horse will ride you, man. It's okay.
Just follow the leader.
Yeah.
It's not difficult.
Pretend.
God, I've gone and ridden a horse before. I'm not a rancher. You just pull to the left or the right. It's fine.
I haven't rode a horse in years.
Ridiculous.
Well, it was one of those things where Toad was so disgusted with him that he didn't want him riding like,
bitch
like,
style. Yeah,
bitch
I got
style.
you. So I was thinking about this because you were like, oh, he's gonna be the new Peter Baelish. He's gonna turn into a badass in a couple of seasons. And the more I see him, I'm like, no, he's Robin Aaron. He's Peter Baelish's illegitimate child.
No, dude, he's more like the fat dude that went on to,
Varys?
No.
Samwell?
He's Sam.
Oh, Sam.
Well, Sam was actually useful though.
Tofu might be useful 6 seasons from now.
Sam was like
a craven,
like charming, and like you wanted to help him.
He was pretty annoying the first season.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm
maybe
so helpless. I don't know how to fight. I'm gonna fall down.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
he might have a point.
Yeah.
You think he's the Sam?
Maybe he could
Well,
be Sam.
Sam couldn't fight, but he was always smart.
Yeah.
Kofun's not even smart.
He can read.
Give him time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give him a minute.
All right.
He can spell pencil really well. Did you see his penmanship?
He was good.
Those letters, like I can't get my 7-year-old
He stayed in the lines
write
really
like
good.
that. And my 7-year-old has had sight his whole life.
Oh my god. All right, go ahead. Continue on.
All right. So back at their camp, Hanawa asked Baba Voss the same question the audience has, which is why he didn't kill Edo Voss when he had a chance. We get the backstory that Baba Voss's mother died giving birth to Edo, and thus Edo was hated by their father. Their father ordered Baba to torture Edo growing up and eventually ordered Baba to kill Edo, but Baba killed their father and ran away instead. Again, this was a very much needed exposition dump.
Yes. And I loved the backstory. You get a little bit more of what's going on between Edo and Baba.
So Edo's mad at Baba for killing his dad.
But he doesn't know.
But his dad wanted him to kill Edo.
Yeah. But he doesn't know that. So that's why he's mad at Baba.
Because family's complicated.
I like that. That was a good answer. It's not inaccurate. It's very true. Family is very complicated.
But you'd also think, like, while he was being tortured, he might have mentioned it to Edo.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad asked me to kill you and I didn't want to, so please stop whipping my back.
I don't know if that would have made a difference. But Edo seemed to be pretty freaking laser focused on torture and Baba. I don't think he would have believed him.
Which makes me wonder what the relationship was between Edo and his father.
Well, between Edo, it was probably shit.
Yeah.
So why is he upset that Baba killed him?
Because Baba was forced to do horrible things to Edo. You remember he said that? He's like, you whipped me harder than this when I was a kid. Like,
yeah, so the father made Baba do all like the torture.
Because the father didn't want to get his hands dirty.
And so Edo never knew it was coming from his father.
Okay.
Because Baba was scared of their father, and so he just did what he was told.
Yeah.
Got it.
And he went full Tyrion Lannister and killed.
Yeah.
Tywin.
And I also
on the shitter, probably.
It wouldn't it be funny if that's how
that would be awesome.
That would be great.
On the shitting log?
Yes, on the shitting log.
God, we're getting our shows all mixed up.
All right. But one of the things I did like about this scene was like, when Baba Voss is like, family's complicated. And she's like, I was just kidnapped by my uncle and my mother's a princess. I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that
I
was
like it.
good.
Again, the world building in this episode has been on point. So I'm happy with it.
So back in Travantis, Edo is disappointed that Rin has yet to find the traitor in their midst. Edo orders Rin to send word to every outpost that he wants Baba and Hanawa brought back to him alive, and he also hints that he might know who helped Baba escape, and Rin almost shits her pants.
I think Edo is just waiting for her to make her move so that he can catch her in the act.
I think she did shit her pants.
I agree.
She looked like she did.
Yeah, she looked like she shit her pants. She was like, oh my God, they're on to me.
Like, I better really tap that stick now so that I seem like I'm blind.
I don't know where I'm going.
I'm real fucking blind.
I just want to walk out of there right then. I'm
Just
out.
no stick, just disappeared.
Yeah. I'd have crawled through that bus.
I don't know. I still don't know why she's staying in the city.
Me neither.
Because she needs a sense of belonging.
She's got to have something there that she hasn't revealed yet, like a kid or something.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Maybe
I'm hoping
that sighted kid is hers.
No, that sighted kid's Jerlamarel's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, fuck that guy.
Well, maybe she fucked Jerlamarel.
God, he is such a man whore.
Well, that's what he was doing. He's going around
just spreading the seed,
spreading his seed all around.
He's got good game.
At least he could pick out the hot ones, and you know.
Well, he's able to see. Right? That's not very hard.
It's like if you can see, right, and you got ugly McFuggington over here, and you know,
Magra
and Magra, you're like, I will inseminate this one.
Doesn't it make you think less of, like, the more I find out about this show, the more I find out about Jerlamarel, doesn't it make you think less of Magra? She's like, yeah, pop a baby up in here. And then she's like, oh shit, I guess I got to go marry this guy over here. Like, it's making me like wonder what her backstory reason was.
I think Jerlamarel is got people freaking.
Well, he's
a little bit of a cult leader.
Yeah, he's a little.
Okay.
He's got a little bit of that cultiness going on, where he like played with Magra, got her pregnant, and then was like, in order to protect our babies, go marry somebody else, and bounced.
Well, one of the interesting things about this world is that, so like, if you're blind, you're not aware of your natural facial expressions.
Right.
So it could be like Jerlamarel is able to see like how people react to, you know, other stimulus and manipulate them on a different level that they're just not used to. Now, again, that's headcanon. But it would make sense within the context of this world.
Okay, I like that.
Right.
Also, I found this scene interesting because Edo Voss is just sitting there with like these open arrow wounds all over his body.
Yeah.
He's like, Hannah can fire arrows.
She's like, how do you know?
I found out the hard way. He's got freaking holes in him.
It would have been awesome if the arrows had still been in him.
It's like, fuck.
It's like, you know, putting some, you know, witch brew stuff on the holes.
But anyway, Ren, like, the scene where he was like, I think I know who it was, and she was like, oh, shit. That was a good scene.
Yeah, you could hear the poop hitting the floor through her pant leg.
Shit, I'm gonna die. It was great, man.
They're gonna kill me so hard.
Yeah. We also get some pretty epic views of Ito's beard in this.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! What the fuck was going on with his beard?
It was like Leonidas, but like times 10.
Oh yeah, it was
epic.
It's great.
God,
they got like a
I don't think gravity has an effect on his beard. It shot straight out of the bottom of his chin.
They straight up got.
Well, hold on a second. Lift your head up, like straight up. Look, see?
So yeah, but mine's not down to here yet. So they straight up have like one of those sticks you put in a wedding cake.
Yes.
to make them. They just like they stuck that up in a prosthetic. So like it goes wherever he goes. You know. So yeah.
Maybe it's just real dirty and it's got that like.
Maybe he has a beard shiv that we don't know about yet.
Like Queen Kane.
Yes.
Except in the beard instead of her wrist.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Are you gonna hide a shiv in your beard?
Yeah, I'll just do it.
All right. What happens next?
All right. Queen Kane is holding court with the scent chefs, doing a show before announcing Magra and Harlan's engagement and setting the wedding 4 days from now, which completely blindsides Magra and Harlan and screws up their plans. Magra suspects that Harlan was in on this, but can't be sure. But one thing she is sure about is that she doesn't trust Harlan or her sister.
Made me think that the queen, remember in the beginning when she was like, I'll be as quiet as a spider, makes me think that she was there the whole time, that they were talking about undermining her.
I think, like you said before, she's just 3 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
sorry, I'm really drunk.
She's killed everyone who's loyal to her. So all she has is herself.
Yeah.
She had to have been there listening the whole time.
Well, I think she knew what Magra was going to do. Like, she's going to try and postpone this as long as possible. And she was just like, all right, give it a shot. And then she goes and she says something like, oh, it's going to be in 4 days from now. Also, the scent chefs, another epic piece of world building that we didn't have.
What are they?
They're okay. So like you get this group around and how do you have a party with blind people? You do like the big...
Yeah, they're basically sentiers who use cooking utensils to create aromas that stimulate all the blind people.
God.
Party smells.
I mean, it's like walking into Jude's house when somebody's sick, you know? It's
Yeah,
like
it's
a
like,
witch hazel
oh,
and fucking
man.
peppermint and now we all have burnt sage.
I'm looking for like
For the spirit.
You are healed.
you start looking for the pentagram on the ground.
Yes.
It's on the ceiling, so you can't escape.
Yeah, but it's funny because we've had conversations before about how this society should really like place a great importance on musicians and stuff like this, where like this is the first time where, you know, even Queen Kane says like, oh, the renowned scent chefs of such and such a place.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, yeah, I
get it.
I
Yeah.
get that.
We
Again,
said it and they did it. What else do you guys want to see?
JCVD, JCVD,
JCVD,
JCVD. All right. What happens next?
All right. So before I get to the final two scenes in this show, I just kind of want to talk about my theory about what's being set up here.
Do you think Toad is gay too?
No, I don't think Toad is gay. But they're turning the frogs gay. So, basically, you have like at Pensa is where all the Game of Thrones shit is happening, and we've for the last 2 episodes we've been getting set up about, okay, here's the landscape. We got the Travantians, and then to the west of them are the Ganites, and then to the east of them is Pensa, and Queen Kane's position is very kind of, you know, tenuous at Pensa. And she sees that, you know, Magra and Harlan are kind of a threat to her rule. And so she's constantly doing things where she's anticipating what they're going to do and then undermining it, which in a way puts her in an even more precarious position. But here's what I'm thinking. So number one, she wants Magra to marry Harlan in order to secure Pensa and their army. But I'm thinking that she's secretly negotiating with the Ganites so that she's going to marry the Ganite king and create an alliance that way. And that way they can take over Pensa, or not Pensa, Travantes. And that's like her ultimate plan. And that's why she's making the moves that she's making. And she doesn't care about pissing off the people in Pensa, because once she's aligned with the Ganites, they're the bigger threat.
The Ganites are against the Travantes to begin with. So that's her, like the enemy.
Keep your enemy close.
And what she can bring to the table to the Ganites is like, marry me, and you get the Pensa army to help you take out the
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
Ooh.
She is a goddamn spider, isn't she?
Hell yeah, man. I dig it.
I think that's going to be one of the big reveals, is like once we're introduced to the Ganites, that's been her plan all along, and everyone's going to be like losing their shit because she outmaneuvered it.
And
that's going to be us.
This is good writing, because we're hearing about the Ganites, so we know about them.
Yeah.
They don't just come out of fucking
Set up and
nowhere.
pay off.
You know who the leader of the Ganites is, right? It's going to be
The Edge
no. The Edge.
from the WWE.
No, it's gonna be the guy who plays Teal'c in SG-1.
Now that show I do watch.
That would actually be pretty cool.
That would be fucking
really
dope.
cool.
Another little Stargate thing. It's either him or John Cena. It's one of those two. And their name were the Ganites.
It's fucking John Cena with a fucking walking stick comes on. He's still got his Peacemaker fucking helmet on.
All right, so we're at the final scene.
Before we get there, I must have missed when it happened, but my favorite, besides the ending scene, but my favorite scene with Baba Voss and Henua, she was having a little spat with one of the chicks from the Compass, and she's like, "You're gonna be dead within a week." And Henua was like, "Bitch, what'd you fucking say?" Like she like walked up on her. And Baba's like, "Henua, whoa,
Slow your roll.
Like,
What was that the scene where she's like, Henua behind me, Baba Voss behind Henua?
yeah, it was right after. Yeah, I love Henua's aggression. She is so ready to go freaking fight some
She's
people.
she has roid rage.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to be trained in the ways of the circle now.
Yes, she's got the freaking throwing the rope around and cracking people's necks.
And the circle, they're
compass.
I'm sorry.
Circle, compass. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Circle, compass, whatever.
Okay, so
You know what I meant.
the compass is the exact kind of like counter to the Witchfinder.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's going to be trained in their ways.
Yep.
Because that girl wanted to mock to June's ears.
They all wanted to kill Tamak Tajun. Baba Voss is the only one who kept him alive.
I know.
Which,
Yeah, but Tamaktajin can take care of himself. One of the funniest parts in this episode is when he gets drugged and he just like,
he falls over and he's like,
just snoring.
that chick was like, I would have not have slept this whole time if he was still awake.
She was like, I'm really tired and I really want to go to sleep, but I can't unless he goes to sleep. So I had to drug him.
Yeah.
You guys
and
want more food?
He's sitting there. He's just falls over.
She's so nonchalant about it too. She's like, you guys want more to eat? Or
Yeah. I loved it. It was awesome.
I like her.
I do too.
She's got spirit.
She's got spunk.
I miss Bow Lion, but she's kind of filling that void for me.
Okay, I gotcha.
I'd be fine if Bow Lion never showed back up again.
I feel like she's gonna show back up.
I hope she does.
I've got some inside information that I can't tell.
Oh shit!
You son of a bitch.
Inside information.
All right, so back at the House of Enlightenment, Edo Voss shows up to confront Jerlamarel, whom he suspects is the one who may have helped Baba escape. However, during their confrontation, Edo figures out Jerlamarel can no longer see and fucking kills him.
Yes! Yes!
I love how he just like jumps right to the
Thank
point.
you. I was so freaking excited. Okay, so the build up for this.
Cut his head right off.
The build up
for sure, because they see his head roll across the room.
They don't leave any room for nuance at all. But the fact that Edo was like, you're not walking around as much as you normally do. You flaunt your sight around me, and you're not doing that now. You can't see. And then he's fucking.
Well, first he feels his face and he feels all the scars.
Yeah.
Around his eyes,
That's right. Yeah.
And he confirms it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. So this was like, we've talked a lot of shit about Jerlamarel. I think last episode I was like, he's so first season. Like, I don't want. Nobody cares about him. We don't like him.
They all agreed with us.
And they all agreed with us. They're like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I appreciate them taking the time to actually like kill off the character rather than just like not addressing it.
Yeah.
Well,
it was dope.
Well, it's interesting because so they set it up so like, oh, we're going to have this completely stupid and boring subplot with Jerlamarel looking to like get his sight back.
Subversion.
Yeah. And so like you didn't see it like when it was coming, because I remember like we were watching it in bed together. And when Edo cuts off Jerlamarel's head, you were like, what just happened? Probably because you were asleep at the time.
I had to rewatch the whole end. I kept nodding.
But it was really one of those things where it was like, oh, you think Jerlamarel's going to, kind of, talk his way through it. And Edo's not going to be any wiser about it. But then it's like, nope, he figured it out. And that's one of those things where it's like, it's always nice when characters in shows and movies are as smart as the audience is. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the problems with Kofun is like Kofun's way dumber than the audience. And so like, when you get a scene like this where it's like genuinely a surprise that they killed off this character and you're like, thank you. I'm glad that they're killing off all these useless characters.
Yep.
It really seems like they're setting up something good, which brings us to the next scene, which is actually way more exciting to me than what just happened with the killing of Jerlamarel, which is Edo then puts the greatest scientist in Cervantes, Tormata, played by Stargate SG-1
Atlantis. Stargate Atlantis.
Stargate Atlantis actor David Hewlett, who played Dr. Rodney McKay, the greatest scientist on Stargate Atlantis and my favorite character, in charge, and tells Olaman if he wants to protect what remains of his family, he has to share all of his sighted knowledge with Tormata, and the House of Enlightenment now belongs to Edo Voss.
Yes, what a power move. I loved it. And I know I don't watch Atlantis as much, but I am familiar with the characters. My wife watches it all the time, so I'm kind of like third party of that show. And I saw McKay, and I was like, hey.
Dude, I didn't recognize him at first.
I didn't either.
Oh, I did immediately. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, that's that guy from Atlantis.
He still doesn't look like him. I just saw him on the TV, and I still didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he like, they really transformed him. Like, you can tell it's him now, but like, the first time I watched it, I was like,
I need to hear him talk.
Who's that guy?
I can't wait to see what this does, because a blind scientist who's going to force a bunch of sighted people to like show them the way.
I would just feed him a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I have a theory about this if you want to hear it.
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Okay. So it's no surprise that Edo is teaming up the greatest scientist, or one of the greatest scientists in his entire city, with these people who can see, and Edo wants to build a sighted army. I think what they're setting up, and we may even get it by the end of the season,
a cure for the virus,
is that Tormata figures out a way to restore blind people's sight. And so like, even if Edo Voss fails, Jerlamarel's children now have the ability to create a sighted army that can take it to Baba Voss and his kind.
I mean, they're still just going to sit in that fucking library reading.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this too, because like, what are you going to do with a scientist?
How did he become a scientist?
We've established in the show, first season and second season, that this virus is what's causing the blindness. If you can cure the virus or something like Yeah,
but then we won't have a show.
Yeah, we will.
Well, we don't know how they're going to restore sight, but I think that the setup with Jerlamarel this season, where he was like, study the books, figure out a way to restore my sight.
Why would the show want to restore sight?
Listen,
that's the DNA of the show.
They even set it up with Hannah and Paris, where Paris was telling her like, there's always going to be like prejudice and stuff like that in humanity. Right now, the blind are prejudiced against sighted people. If sighted people ever return, the prejudice could switch around. And
it's in human nature.
Yeah, it's in human nature. And so like, I think that's going to be the big setup where eventually Kofun and Hannah are going to be caught in this war between the sighted and the blind. And they're going to have to figure out a way to bridge that gap. I mean, we're talking season 3, 4, 5, like wherever we get down the line. But I think that's what they're setting up here.
For me, I imagine guys like Voss and Edo Voss and all these badass warriors. They're already badass with no sight, and then you figure out a way to cure that virus, and they have sight. All of a sudden, how much more badass
they wouldn't be as badass.
Can you imagine how confusing that would be if you're a 40-year-old man who has adapted and is a savage in this brutal world, and like you're hit all of a sudden with sight. You don't understand what things are that you're looking at. It would be so confusing.
But also, just like the title of the show, See, like it makes sense. Like this is the story of the return of sight to a blind society and how it affects things.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm with Kadish. I'm in. I'm ready to roll.
Let's see how it goes.
All right, so that's it for the episode. My favorite moment, again, Hannah having that aggression. She's like, I'm going to freaking fuck you up if you say that again. Like, I love that. That was awesome. And also, Jerlamarel getting his freaking head chopped off.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was amazing. It was like such a wish fulfillment moment for me.
It really was, right?
It really was. This is, so far, I know we've only had 3 episodes, but this was my favorite episode of the season so far.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just the world building of it and the character exposition and like getting the backstory with Paris and figuring out like literally cutting the fat again. We had Boots last, and now we have Jerlamarel. He's just extra fat we don't need. Gone. Like
terrible characters.
It was great. It was like such a relief to watch this episode and be like, they're doing everything I wish they would have done. It's amazing.
Yep.
Vader, what did you think about this episode?
Great episode. My favorite of the season so far.
Yeah,
by far. Yeah, I like you. I love the world building. I loved the exposition of what they're and the stuff that they're setting up and the explanations of what's come before. Paris's backstory was cool. I loved the Compass Girls. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time with this episode, and I really love, Queen Kane starting to grow on me a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She it's like I'm starting to get into that character a little bit, and I hate her, but I still kind of
love her.
Really like her. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird if they actually like kill her or something weird.
Conflicting emotions.
It'll be a weird sensation to go through someday. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she can't live. She in the end she has to die at some point. You know what I mean?
As far as we know right now, she's still the main antagonist.
I mean, even if it's like the very last episode, she's got to die at some point. You know what I mean? So it'll be weird.
All right. Jude, how about you? What did you think about this episode?
I'm surprised that you said it was your favorite episode, but I get why you said that. It wasn't as exciting as the first couple of episodes in the season, but like we learned so much that we needed to, that I'm excited for what this is setting up.
Okay.
And then I also have some designs to talk
let's
about.
do Kadish's final thoughts, and then we'll do the fashion report. Kadish, how about you, bud? What did you think about this episode?
Again, I hate this episode because it was so good. like every scene with Kofun, I'm like, I want every scene to be like that. Like every scene in the show.
I hate you so much.
I want season 1 levels of terrible, and I'm not getting it.
Nope.
Yeah. Thanks, John Tropper, for making this show so good and ruining my enjoyment of it. But no, like this was a really good episode. It set up, like, we really needed this kind of like backstory mythology episode to kind of set the stage of this world. That was one of my biggest problems with season 1 is they just didn't do enough world building. And this episode was almost all world building, and the surprises were surprising, and we're getting more SG-1 actors, Stargate Atlantis actors, which is awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of David Hewlett's Tormata, because I just love that actor. He was my favorite character on Stargate Atlantis. So I'm excited to see where this is going, and I hope that my theories turn out to be correct.
That'd be awesome. So far, Jude's been on point, and we've
presaged it.
Yeah, we've had
TOADFUNE.
No, please don't.
You heard it here first.
Oh no. Well, we did get confirmation from some of the cast that some of our predictions when we talked about episode 1 and 2 have been pretty much on point for what's going to happen for season 2. So I'm really excited, and I'm glad that we're on the same level with the people who are making the show. Okay, so we have a fashion report, guys. If you're new, again, Jude, during our first season, did fashion reports for us because she wasn't always able to join us in the studio. And we felt like bringing it back because it's
popular demand.
One of those nostalgic, fun things that we did for season 1. We're going to continue on. So, Jude, take it away. What is the fashion report for episode 3?
Well, as previously discussed, rope isn't just for messages anymore. For the gorgeous ladies of the compass, it's dominating as this season's signature murder accessory. Coming onto the scene from literally out of nowhere, these gals wake up, choose violence, and give no fucks while bend and snapping whips and slashing necks along the mountain edge. And don't think your little workout ensemble escaped my attention, Princess Magra. I see you. Unless it's heresy, then I don't. Wearing blue, cinched up, no-nonsense sumo shorts, she invites Lord Harlan into her royal whistle-sword sweat sesh to accept his proposal and make it clear that the gym is the only place they'll be working up a sweat in this relation. And finally, no fashion report would be complete without a mention of what the Queen's wearing. The sovereign deceiver wears crazy like a rain slicker in hurricane season, and baby, it's cold outside. So keep that neck wrapped and away from sharp objects, because winter is coming. Until next chat.
Nice. Very well done.
Chat.
Mr. Matt Vader, where can they find you on the socials before we get out of here?
You can find me on the socials at MattVader74 on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, I guess. And where else?
I have to say, Vader, your TikToks are fantastic.
I really enjoy your TikToks.
They're not good at all.
That's why they're good.
They're
this is someone who wants more of season 1. That is Matt Vader's TikTok.
They're the worst. But yeah, those are the places.
Right on. Thank you, sir. Jude, where can they find you?
You can find me at I am Jude Juju on Instagram, on Twitter, and on TikTok also.
Excellent. Mr. Kadish?
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and kadishbooks.com will take you to my Amazon page.
All right. I'm the Salty Nerd. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. And stay tuned. We're going to be doing this whole season for season 2. We're having a ton of fun. And look for some possible interviews coming up pretty soon. And if you guys like what we do here and you want to get more of it and you want to get the raw, unfiltered salt that we have, go to saltynerdclub.com, join the club membership. You will get 4 exclusive podcasts every single month on top of outtakes where we go just completely nuts. We get too drunk. We have to cut it out of the show. We have a ton of fun doing it. It's not just gibberish that we cut out because it's not good enough, but it's literally stuff that we just doesn't have anything to do with movies, but we just start talking trash.
Or
That's
we'll
over
get
there.
us kicked off.
Or we'll get us kicked off.
And if they like our C reviews, we're going to be doing the exact same thing for the next big Apple TV show, Foundation.
Yes. Yep.
And that's going to be exclusively for members.
Yeah, members only spoiler reviews for Foundation, the next show that's coming up in a couple months. So join us. Join the fantastic community that we already have. You guys will get exclusive access to our Discord chat where we do watch parties and video games. And you guys can actually choose the movies that we review every month. We get our club members right now are like, hey guys, we need to watch this movie, and we'll be like, we're on it. So jump in there, join the community. We really appreciate the support. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much. We're having a blast talking about this show. Shout out to the cast and crew. We love you guys. We talk a lot of shit, but we have a lot of fun, and we are promoting the hell out of your show. We have a ton of fun talking about it. So thank you all very much for checking our stuff out.
Make TOADFUNE happen.
Don't make it.
Don't. JCVD.
I will be.
JCVD. JCVD. Come on, guys. Just make the phone call.
I'd be so upset.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And as always, stay salty, my friends.